Good morning, everybody. It's November 14, 2025. I hope everybody's doing well. It's 6 o'clock in the morning here, but guess what? I decided to not go to sleep because the criminals knocked me out for 4 hours. I went to lie down in bed just to rest my body at just before 11 p.m. before I went into the CATS building to clean up and everything. Lo and behold, I wake up close to 4 a.m. But prior to that, and this is going to be documented here, I had no internet. With all that work they did, allegedly putting in a new wire, new cable, new everything, spent all that time where I lost internet for 3 days. I had no internet from 11:51 p.m. to 1:10 a.m. We have no wind, no rain, no snow. No internet, 11:51 p.m. to 1:10 a.m. here in Jackson County, Kentucky. For the amount of time I don't have internet, I should be receiving a huge credit to my internet account. So anyway, that's not the topic. I want to talk about the fact that it is quite possible that my YouTube channel has been hacked. And I don't really know exactly what that looks like. I can tell that when my laptop has been interfered with, but I can't really tell about YouTube until one of you great people made a comment. I noticed some strange things with my YouTube account. I tried to log onto my YouTube studio earlier, and I was locked out of it. I could get onto it through my phone, but I could not get onto it through my laptop. So I got this message from Google to secure my system, which I then did. And as soon as I did, I followed Google's steps. I was able to get back into my YouTube studio. But another thing is when I received the alleged demonetization email and the alleged appeal denial, I also received another email which magically disappeared, and it was on the same day as the demonetization. It said that you will not be able to demonetize any other current or future channels. I've never heard anything like that before in my life, and neither have any of you, and I have not heard that across YouTube. That was obviously a hacker sending me that horrific email because it did disappear. And as I mentioned, a lot of my mail has disappeared recently. Because I'm this person. I've got folders for everything. That's why I always need so much space on all of my devices, because I save everything. I'm a Cancer. I'm a Cancerian. Okay? We save stuff. So I save stuff. And because I have so many email addresses and I've got a nonprofit, I have to save this stuff. But all the stuff has disappeared. And also, the check that iGive sent to me for $30 on October 31 has not arrived yet. It's 14 days. So now I have to go in and see if I can recover that amount, because I believe the check was stolen, because it would not be the first time money has been stolen from my mailbox, or that somebody at the post office has not confiscated my belongings. It wouldn't be the first time. But this is the email. So I contacted YouTube. After I received that message from Google that I could not get into my YouTube studio, I sent to YouTube, my YouTube account may have been hacked to steal my earnings. I received 2 emails from YouTube. One, that the channel would be demonetized November 14, and 2, that no future or existing other channels can be monetized. No one has ever received this from YouTube. Up until demonetization, I had already earned between $350 and $400. It does not appear in my account anymore. I should be receiving a payout for that amount. A subscriber says, when you said you appealed and it came back denied, I really got the feeling they are hackers who are stealing your money. They probably sent these fake messages and then tell you it's been demonetized. But they may be hackers who will siphon your money. What you said that had happened before immediately made me think they're hackers. Report all of that to IC3 Internet Fraud. I don't know for sure, but that's what I thought when you said that. I feel so sad that they are doing this to you. I'm so sorry. Well, that is a good point. I can certainly report it to IC3 Internet Fraud because I absolutely have internet fraud. Because now that a check that was stolen by a nonprofit organization is missing, that somebody has been intercepting my money. And this is a financial thing because the money that I earned up until the alleged demonetization should be sent to me. But I don't see it in my account anymore. And also, I should have still been earning through November 14th. But they stopped. It allegedly stopped earning like 4 or 5 days ago. Because I had submitted for monetization a whole bunch of videos that should have been monetized that were not. And I never received any response back on those. They should have automatically been reviewed, monetized. This is, I'm going to say like 4 days ago, maybe even 5 at this point, because today is the 14th. So yes, thank you so much for subscriber for saying that. I didn't think that, but now that I could not get into my YouTube studio and received an alert from Google, that tells me that you're onto something. And the fact that I lost all the mail into all these folders and that my iGive check is missing, it wouldn't be the first time. You know, because my neighbors down the block, they like to go into my mailbox and steal stuff. They like to actually leave things inside of my mailbox. Dead animals, wasps, poopy diapers. Oh, and also, while I'm at it, a subscriber said, did you see that video about the 8 families in Kentucky historically that are evil? I said, no, I didn't. So I looked it up. And lo and behold, Eastern Kentucky is demonic. So of the 8 families, they named the last names. And evidently, the ones with the last name Combs, C-O-M-B-S, they have funeral homes. Then there's one in Lechter County. Does that sound familiar to you? And they actually, at the very end of the video, mentioned Judge Mullins about how he had his own way of dealing with the law, that he had his own legal system set up to defraud the public, harass women, and he had like a whole garage set up with stuff, to do stuff to people. That's all I'm going to say. Then there was another family in the smack middle of the video where the guy was so pissed off because he didn't get into a medical school, but he had all the training, that he decided he's going to practice on his own. But not in a good way. These are satanic, psychopathic families. And basically, he did the same thing. He set up some garage, and they put up these fake advertisements to lure people in, and that they would disappear because they were torturing them in their basements and garages. Yeah. So thank you for sending me that. It was actually gruesome to listen to. These 8 Kentucky families, one of which most people know about, the Hatfield and McCoys. They were constantly fighting over land, like where the land began, where the land ended and stuff. But this went through generations of fighting each other over land disputes. Hey, these days, you get a land survey. The land survey is a legal document. It's a legal document. You pay for it. And that's how you know where your land begins and ends. Of course, unless the local county and the local criminals contact your land surveyor to alter that land survey. Sort of like to claim that there's an easement when there isn't any. Okay? But that's what they do here in Jackson County, Kentucky. I can't attest to what they do in other counties. Other than that, evidently, Lechter County is evil to the core. And so much more. But anyway, if I locate that video again about the 8 disgusting, evil families historically in Kentucky that persist today because they go down generation to generation, I will post the link in the description section. But one takeaway that is very relevant to what targeted individuals experience with the perpetrators, and this was specifically stated in the video, that many of these families, to the public, show a face that they're working, they've got businesses, they're upstanding citizens, they're Bible belters, right? But behind the scenes, they're total sadistic psychopaths with evil intentions, and they all cover each other's backs, and they all do stuff that the general public is not aware of. And they bribe and coerce law enforcement to turn a blind eye. Sound like the program to you? So evidently, it's well known that there are 8 families in Kentucky that operate this way. So anyway, my YouTube account may, to a certain degree, be hacked because of Google sending me that message today. Although, if it were completely hacked, I would not have been able to get on my YouTube through my phone. So evidently, it's something in my laptop. Somebody's going in my laptop. So if anybody has an idea about how to fix that, you know, I've got an old laptop. It's been completely compromised, and it's Windows 7. Let me know. I'm willing to work with you guys. I'm going to sign off for now. I have another video that I'm going to create, which is what I was going to create earlier today. And this is basically about rats, snitches, peeping Tom, the bun babes, the kiss-ups, and the wannabes.